Hey yo, what's good though? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So at this point, obviously you've seen the title and you've seen the thumbnail, so you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. As a heavily Pokemon oriented channel, it was very hard for me to even consider ignoring this topic. However, the more that I thought about it, the more I realized, you know what, this is probably the one and only time that I could talk about this particular topic before it dies down heavily in the next like 2 months, because I don't know where that game is gonna be with the masses within the next 2 months. The game in question, of course, being Palworld. For anybody that's unaware, let me go ahead and give you the synopsis really quick. Palworld is an action-adventure survival game by Japanese developer Pocket Pair. This game is set in an open world populated with animal-like creatures known as pals. The players can battle and capture pals in order to use them for base building, traversal, and combat. The game dropped on January 19th across most platforms except for Nintendo Switch, obviously. And also, as far as stats go, it's already one of the highest selling games of 2024, but, you know, it's only the beginning of 2024, so don't quote me on that. But anyway, this game, every day since it's come out, has been non-stop in comparison with Pokemon. People are saying that it's the next Pokemon killer, they're saying that Game Freak needs to step their game up, and, you know, everything under the sun that will just knock on Pokemon because Palworld is allegedly better. As somebody that talks extensively about pretty much literally every problem that Pokemon has, and as somebody that's played a little bit of Palworld, I figured, hey, you know what, while this conversation is still happening, why don't I go ahead and throw my 2 cents in? I guess we should probably start with my experience with Palworld. Now, so far since Palworld has released, I have only played it with 2 of my friends. And so far, I personally have played Palworld with my friends consecutively for maybe 10 to 12 hours across multiple play sessions. So just to give you an idea, yeah, I've played a bit, I've come to understand the basics of the game, but I haven't played like an insane amount. But within that small amount of time, I think it's safe to say that I've gotten a pretty good handle on all of the general mechanics of the game. You learn how to obtain the materials quickly, then learn to craft, then learn to catch the pals, which are the Pokemon of this universe essentially, and then you learn how to use them in battle. However, instead of this being a turn-based RPG, your pals literally fight alongside you. Like, you're going out and beating up other pals with, like, sticks and with axes and literally guns. Usually though, even if you are attacking, 9 times out of 10, your pal is the one doing like 90% of the damage. However though, you aren't the ones picking out their moves for them or anything like that. They have their own AI going on in there, and they're the ones doing whatever you tell them to do depending on what instructions you give. You can tell them to be aggressive, you can tell them to back off, you can tell them to attack who you're attacking, or you can just pet them or emote with them or whatever. But just like Pokemon, the better pals that you have, the farther you can go in that game. You can't really evolve them though, so that's kind of a downer. However, there are a lot of aspects that make it really worth it to catch multiple versions of the same pal sometimes. Essentially though, when it boils down to the nitty-gritty, this game is legitimately just Pokemon Legends Arceus, right? But now it has actual crafting mechanics, survival mechanics, guns, and literal slavery. They didn't even bother to try to hide the fact that this game was definitely marketed towards adults as Pokemon with guns. But clearly this worked out for them, so there's really no shame to be had on their part. However, people have been arguing since Palworld has released that it's a better game than Pokemon is right now. And you know what? That's fine. I am not at all shocked by this. The game runs at 60 frames, it has a stable frame rate, and the graphics are kind of okay. So yeah, it's no wonder that people are flocking to the $30 alternative right now. Meanwhile, with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you have to spend $180 across the board if you don't have friends to get the full experience out of those games. Yeah, I can't say I really blame people for making this argument. There's also a lot of pretty damn cool mechanics, I can't even lie. You can fight other pals yourself, you can give your pals weapons and they can fight alongside you, and if you get the right equipment, all of your pals are capable of many different things. You can ride some of them, you can use some of them as gliders, you can use some of them as flamethrowers. It's pretty vast. There's also the fact that your character can level up as well, and in turn, you can get access to so many different cool items and upgrades that can help you on your journey. And then of course, there's the customizable aspect of the world itself. Depending on what you want to do in that menu, you can make the game as easy or hard as you want utilizing sliders in the menu. You can adjust your experience gain, how many pals pop up in the overworld, how strict your stamina meter is, etc. So, like Minecraft, you can tweak with those settings a lot until it's to your liking. So yeah, I guess it's safe to say that Palworld is pretty neat. It's got a lot of things going for it, and I can see why a lot of people are enjoying it. And I've been having my fun with it too. But if I had to choose a word that would describe how I feel about Palworld overall, I'd probably have to go with passive. I'm sure a couple of people tilted their heads right now, especially when I described why people enjoy this game so much and that I'm having fun with it, but let me explain. For one thing, I don't really care much for survival crafting games and stuff like that. Usually, they all kind of feel samey, and they all kind of blend together for me and get boring really fast for me. No matter how many times I've tried, I just can't get into Minecraft, and every single survival game after that usually starts to feel exactly the same after a while, and I'm just not a big fan of the genre. It's not bad, of course, and this is just my personal opinion. Everybody is entitled to enjoy whatever they want to enjoy, but for me personally, that stuff is just not usually my thing. You start the world, you get the materials, you make the base, you go on adventure, you get more materials, you level up, you get access to more materials, you improve your base, and it just kind of cycles until eventually you've made something that you're kind of proud of, you don't really want to do anything else to it, and then you kind of get tired of the game. Or at the very least, that's been my constant experience with the game. It also doesn't help that I'm a very heavily story-driven person, and if I don't have like a story to get invested in, to get hooked on, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna play that game for that long. And just like a lot of those other games, Palworld does not have a story. It has lore, and that's kinda neat, but I don't care about it at all. So yeah, to make it clear, the gameplay is fun, it's pretty damn good, but it definitely gets old for somebody like me really quickly. So, if I'm keeping it 100% like I always tend to do here, I don't really see myself playing this game for a long time whatsoever. I could easily put this game down tomorrow and completely forget about it. Or at the very least, I would for a minute and then Twitter would be up in flames about it all over again, so it's kinda hard to miss. But overall, yeah, this is something that's very hard for me to play alone because, again, no story and a gameplay loop that's so generic it's almost like any other survival game that I have ever played. And while I do enjoy playing it alongside my friends, if they were to put it down tomorrow, we would probably just never pick it up again. Straight up. We're just getting started with the year, but I would be very shocked if Palworld even managed to make it to my top 20 games this year. Spoiler alert, it definitely won't. Now, we've talked a lot about Palworld and my opinion on it, but overall, what do we think about the conversation regarding its comparisons to Pokémon? Well, we're still keeping it 100, and I personally believe that this conversation is really stupid. It does have quite a bit of what we've been asking for from Pokémon for years now, and for the average person, yeah, it's very easy to feel like Palworld's developers paid attention to that and took advantage of that aspect to better their own game, which is totally fine. Absolutely, they can do whatever they want. The thing is though, I just think that the Pokémon needs to be more like this and the this is gonna be the Pokémon killer conversation is dumb, and it's already really old. The only reason that this game is even doing any form of numbers is because all it did was take Pokemon's formula and add it to a survival crafting game. These pals or whatever are not gonna grow to nearly the extent that Pokemon in of themselves as creatures have. You know what we're not gonna see in the next coming months? We're not gonna see a trading card game for this. We're not gonna see plushies from this game. We're not gonna see just an overwhelming market targeted for this game's audience within movies and shows and all these other things, because it's not gonna reach Pokemon. If you have seen literally any video of mine on this channel, you would know for a fact that this is not me defending Pokemon. I do want Pokemon to get better, and I do agree that there's a lot of aspects in which Pokemon sucks. However, one thing that we've always acknowledged is the fact that Pokemon is a freaking empire. Nobody is killing Pokemon but Pokemon. We have seen this time and time again. Palworld's existence will not and will never have any effect on Pokemon whatsoever. Just like Digimon, just like Yokai Watch, and just like Temtem, Palworld is not making a single dent in Pokemon Company's pockets, and it definitely won't do so in the foreseeable future. I will always agree that Pokemon absolutely does need more competition to really make them step up their game. However, that is an enormous task, one that I'm not really sure Palworld will ever truly be up to. Palworld is good, but it's generic, and no matter what anyone tries to tell me, we're gonna see what happens with every generic game like this in the next coming months. And as per usual, as soon as we get that new Pokemon game at the end of the year, it's gonna make a bunch of money. And Palworld, and any game like it, will have become a distant memory. Palworld is fun. However, by this time next month, I will personally have most likely moved on to something else, because Palworld is not a game meant to hold the attention of someone like me for very long. This literally just happened with another survival crafting game just a little while ago. Do y'all still play LEGO Fortnite? Because I don't see anybody talking about LEGO Fortnite anymore. LEGO Fortnite was supposed to be the Minecraft killer, but in reality, Minecraft just kinda killed itself. But either way, same difference. It was fun for a little while, and then once we were fed up with the game within the same month, we moved on to something else, because much like every generic survival game, there's only so much content available at the beginning of its lifetime. But after that initial hype is passed, it's very hard to retain that kind of attention. I truly do not believe that Palworld is up to the task of retaining that kind of attention. If I'm wrong, cool, awesome, amazing even. Because if Pokemon has some real kind of competition, maybe they'll step their game up, and I wouldn't mind if that happened. But, personally, the game in of itself doesn't really have anything that sticks out enough from its base to make it stand out for a long period of time. And I don't see myself going back even as far as next month, because, quite honestly, I've got Grand Blue, I've got Persona 3, and I've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to look at. So yeah, Palworld definitely is not taking up that much space in my mind right now, and it absolutely won't by literally 2 weeks from this point. Whether one believes that Palworld truly is better than Pokemon is completely subjective, not fact, and I personally believe that it's not that much better. But hey, that's just me. Alright, so now I have to get a lot of Palworld gameplay so I can actually put this video out, because I have not really talked all that much about Pokemon in this, and in turn, now it's just all gonna be oh my goodness, why do I do this to myself? Whatever. Anyway, I'm passing the mic to you guys. What do you guys think about this topic? Do you think that the argument that Palworld is better than Pokemon is stupid, much like me? Or do you believe that it's justified and it really is a better game than Pokemon, and it will continue to grow and eventually surpass Pokemon as the primary monster catching game? If you believe that's possible, and anything of the sort, tell me everything that you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because you know for a fact that I am always gonna be down there with you guys. But with that, it is definitely time for me to skedaddle on. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, gonzo. Thanks again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time.